Weaver, and welcome to Designers at Home. As you know, I'm president of Mark Weaver and Associates Interior Design, located in Los Angeles. And this morning I have a very special guest. We have Jade Mills joining us shortly. Jade is renowned among her colleagues and her clients for her integrity, her loyalty, and her professionalism. She is ranked the #1 agent worldwide for Coldwell Banker, and she's the #6 agent worldwide for all brokerages. She's achieved the highest sales volume on record of any agent in Coldwell Banker history, with an astounding $6 billion worth of career sales. She'll be joining us in just a second. So Jade's influence is global. She's also the mother of 4, and I believe she has 7 grandchildren. She manages to have a dynamic career and spend time with her family. She serves on several boards and has been honored for her charitable work. And I think she's going to be joining us right now. Let's see here. Here we go. This always takes a second. Be patient. So, good morning, Jade.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Wonderful. It's so nice to have you. Thank you for joining us on Designers at Home.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Well, you look gorgeous as usual.
Thank you. And so do you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks,
So,
Mark.
I was just giving them a little bit of background on you, Jade, and talking about how you've become the #1 agent worldwide for Coldwell Banker and your tremendous success. So when you started out as did you start out with a passion for real estate or desire to get into real estate? How did that come about?
Actually, I didn't know too much about real estate, but I don't think that real estate agents there weren't many in my little town of Alamo, California. And most of them worked for a developer or in development. So I didn't really know too much about real estate. But when I met my first husband and we went on the road, I was actually playing the tambourine on stage while he was singing. And all united, bought a little house in Sherman Oaks.
Uh-huh.
And soon after that, I had my first child, and he decided that it wasn't working for him. Married and have a baby and be on the road. So I was left with this little house, and I hired a real estate agent, and I said, what am I going to do? I didn't graduate from college. We both quit college and ran away together and got married. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he said, well, have you ever considered real estate? I said, I don't really know anything about it. He said, well, I'm going to teach you. So that was, oh my gosh, I don't know, like maybe 1975. And Spike Dresser, who was my real estate agent, said, you're going to be amazing. You love people, looking at houses, you're going to be great. Well, that was only the beginning. I'm thinking, okay, so I can sell real estate, take care of my daughter. It doesn't quite work like that. Real estate is a full-time.
It's very demanding, yes.
But that's how I got into it, and I have loved real estate. Now, I didn't work for many years in between because I married my second husband, had 2 more children, but I got back into it with my husband now. We actually sort of started when we met, and so that's 31 years ago. So I've been doing this very full-time for 31 years.
Well, it's quite an accomplishment for 31 years. So what do you attribute your tremendous success to?
I think to be successful in any business, you have integrity. You have to be honest, and you have to be dedicated to your audience, to your client. And I have found that most of my referral business is because of that. And I think that whether it's real estate or your business, I mean, I know how you work, and you work very similar to me. It's the utmost importance to do the right thing and not to sell your clients a look, but to really, really with them. And that's the same way I feel.
Yeah, it's a very personal business. What you and I do is very similar, because it's you're placing the clients in the home that's appropriate for them and their lifestyle, and we're creating the environment for their lifestyle. And for me, the thrill is the personal relationship I have with the clients. And your business, like mine, I'm sure is almost 100% referral.
It is today. But Mark, don't you also feel at the end of installing the furniture and putting the paintings on the wall, the most important part of our business is having someone say, you did an amazing job.
Yes.
All the rest doesn't really matter.
No, it's a lot of hard work and headaches, but that moment is the moment that you live for.
That's right.
Yeah.
Business and mine. I mean, everyone says, oh my God, you're going to make this money. It's not about the money. It's about doing the right thing and having that client say, thank you so much.
Yes.
You did more than anybody else could have done for me.
Yeah, that's how you succeed. And that's true really in most businesses, I think.
Yeah.
You can apply that to most businesses. Now, I want to respect you because I know your client list is strictly confidential, and you probably have, like I do, non-disclosures. But you've sold some very notable properties in your career. And,
how do you know?
Pardon? Well, a lot of them, you hear about on the news. You can Google it. And I don't want to put you in an awkward position, but, 3 of the Los Angeles properties that are really important properties, one is the Spelling Manor that you sold. One was the Playboy Mansion. And that was interesting because I worked on that mansion with Hugh Hefner back in I guess it was the 70s, late 70s. And another one of my favorites, Chartwell, which I think most people know as the Beverly Hills Mansion. And that must have been very exciting to represent those properties. I mean, any one of them would have been a career highlight for somebody.
It was very interesting. And I must say, all were very different. On one, I represented the buyer, and on the other 2, I represented the sellers, or I was part of them on Chartwell.
Uh-huh.
But they were all very different. And people say, oh, when you get to that price range, they're probably all the same, probably do the same thing. Every transaction is very different. And I think experience is the most important thing you can have, again, in any business, but especially in real estate. Knowing the client, knowing what they want, knowing how to deal with not only the client, but the attorney involved, the business manager involved, and trying to keep everybody at peace. So
right.
Everybody feels like they've been treated properly.
Right. And
no ego, no anger, no ego is probably the best word. No ego. This has to be done with your client's best interest in mind.
Absolutely. And I think that's how I approach our business. We take our ego out of it and we think, what is the best solution for this client?
Yes.
That's what makes a successful sale of any sort. So you've also worked for several celebrities like Lionel Richie, Brooke Shields, Sylvester Stallone, Jennifer Aniston. And that must be a lot of fun to be able to, everybody dreams of having a celebrity clientele.
Yes. I was actually with Lionel last night and his darling son, Miles. And yes, it's very exciting and it's very rewarding because here you are with these huge celebrities and they're actually asking you for advice. So I always feel so blessed, so honored to be part of their lives. And then I really do try to not just make it that transaction. I want to help them in the future with any real estate. Even, I mean, people call me 3 years after I've sold a property with questions. And I always want to give them the time that they need. And it's very interesting. I mean, these people, lives just like ours, except we are not being pulled at all the time. Most of these people are just being pulled at all of the time for their attention. And can I ask you a question? And can I do this? Can I do that? So it's, you know, even though they're just like us, they've got a lot to deal with when they go out into public.
Right. So if you looked at your career, what do you think stands out as your most memorable sale?
I would say my first sale.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was sitting what they call on the floor, which means you're sitting in the office waiting for the phone to ring.
Right.
And I was sitting there on a Sunday with my daughter on the floor playing with her toys, just two of us in the whole office, waiting for and the phone rang. And it was a Los Angeles newspaper delivery person. And he said to me, I'm sitting out in front of a house that your company has listed. Could I see it? Of course. I pick up Tiffany and we get in the car and we run out there. Well, I really wasn't very experienced because I didn't really realize there was no loan commitment on his part. I didn't know how much he was putting down. I didn't know anything. But in those days, we wrote the contract on the spot.
Uh-huh.
Or as we were taught, you can write it on the hood of your car. Just get it. So we wrote the contract. I went back to the office. I was so proud of myself. And Spike said to me, well, where's the down payment? You know, you say they're putting 15%. Where's it coming? We need proof of funds. Yes, we need that. Well, at the end, and I wrote a 30-day escrow. At the end of about 60 days, I realized that the seller was very understanding and that my buyer was working so hard to make this happen. We finally got his mother-in-law to co-sign. They then were ready to have a baby or going to have a baby. And when that escrow closed, we all cried. And it was such a rewarding experience. And it was like the beginning of, I love this and I will do this for as long as I can. And that, I think, is what has spurred me on in every situation to sell real estate forever.
That's just wonderful. Yeah. It's really not about the biggest project, the most famous project. It's about, you know, seeing the joy and how it enriches somebody's life.
Yes.
So, you know, as a designer, over my career, we've done many spec houses, and which are being built to put on the market. So, what would you advise me or any other designer? What as a realtor do you think is important in preparing a house for sale, whether it's a spec house or a private home?
People want to walk into a lifestyle.
Right.
They want to walk into a Mark Weaver, totally done, gorgeous home. Your design is so elegant. And I think what people really want is to be able to walk into one of your homes and say, oh my gosh, I don't have to do anything here. I can walk in, bring my clothes, and really feel like right now everybody tends to want instant gratification.
Yes.
And I just at a gorgeous home of yours in Santa Ynez. And you can walk in that house and not do one single thing. It is done to the dishes. It is done to the towels. You know, everything is beautiful. And that's what people do right now. So that is what makes a home saleable today.
Uh-huh. People just don't want to wait.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. So let's say a home today versus a home 20 years ago. What are people looking for in homes today that's different than it was 20 years ago? What amenities do you think are important?
As you and I know,
Uh-huh.
Want everything of that era. So although it was very different 20 years ago, today they want the smart systems. They want whether it's Questron or Lutron or all these things, they want to be able to push one button and have everything turn on. And that includes the shades or the drapes. So many people want the latest technology. I think we have found that during COVID and all that's going on with COVID, people are really looking for a home office.
Right. Uh-huh.
Looking for a home gym.
Yep.
They're looking for more outdoor space because what they want is to be able to stay home, to entertain at home, to do their work at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like even people that love their area, after being home for a year or more, they're feeling like what they thought they loved about their homes, they want something a little bit different.
Right.
So that's what made last year so huge in our business, because
right.
people were moving around locally. Although we had a lot of people want Malibu, Santa Barbara, Orange County, they also wanted either another home or a little pied-à-terre.
Right.
The city, so they
right.
could go there.
Right. An escape.
An escape.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm finding is that like you said, the outdoor living spaces are very, very important to people. And because we live in Southern California where the weather is good most of the time, maybe it's a little dry right now. A little rain would be a blessing. But, because outdoor living is so important here, the living environment and being able to have outdoor dining, entertainment, living, swimming pools, tennis court, whatever thing is very important to people. And
well, Mark, that's where you come in. I mean, I've seen those incredible outdoor living rooms that you designed, so you can actually be entertaining outside. And between the heat lamps and the shade that are provided with those, you can entertain 365 days a year. So that's a very important feature, and you do that so well.
Oh, well, thank you. And let's say, the trend right now is with very contemporary homes. I mean, I think the last 10, 15 years, we've seen a shift from traditional into contemporary architecture, more contemporary designed homes. And I'm sort of seeing things turn back a little bit. What do you notice any change?
Definitely. People want softer. They don't want that harsh contemporary. They want softer, more modern contemporary. I have people asking me for Wallace Neff homes, the Spanish that are restored. I think that people are just wanting a little bit softer lifestyle, and I think it's hard to live in a house that's very, very contemporary. I think most everyone today wants less. They don't want the print on print, and they want less. The less is more. They don't want so many little tchotchkes out on the countertops. They want less, but they want that really feel good modern rather than the very contemporary.
Right. Yeah. Well, so many of the residences, a friend of mine describes them as beautiful showroom spaces, but they're soulless. So yeah, we always try and bring something that adds some character and provenance.
You do.
And character to a home. It's what makes it a home versus looking like a showroom.
And that's why people feel comfortable walking in and buying that lifestyle.
Yes.
They don't so much want that party house as much as they want a home.
Right. That is important. So, we're creatures of habit. And I'm sure you get buyers that say, I have to have this and I have to have that in a home. And, they're used to living that lifestyle because the home dictates that. So how flexible do you find people, how flexible are they when they're looking at properties that you're showing them?
It depends on flexible in sort of what division. Because I have a beautiful home in the Palisades for sale. It was done, I would say, 15 or so years ago. It's on gorgeous land. It has a tennis court. It's decorated beautifully, but it's still, I remember June Scott, who was a real estate agent that I think she passed away in her late 80s. And she said to me at the very beginning, there's a lid for every pan.
Yes.
And I must say, this house in the Palisades, to me, it's on lots of land. It has a guest house. It has a tennis court. But for some people, it's not exactly right. Maybe it's too big. You know, some people say, I can't live in something that's large. So there's a lid for every pan. This particular house is gorgeous. But things that are a little more expensive also don't sell overnight. So I think that people are looking for different things, and it's just identifying what your clients want and putting them in home.
Right. And do you find that male buyers are very different from female buyers, either as single people or as married couples? I know when I'm dealing with married couples, you know, one likes this, one likes that, and I have to sort of bring the two together.
Yes, very.
Are they different?
It's not different, but I think a woman will buy much more emotionally.
Yes.
Normally, I find that men will say, is this a good buy? Should I buy this or should I buy this as far as area? Should I buy Beverly Hills, Holmby Hills, the Palisades, Malibu? You know, where is going to be the best return?
Yes.
Where women will be much more emotional about walking in and saying, oh, I feel good here. And that's not always true, but it is trying to get the husband and wife on the same page and to make them both happy.
Right, right. So will you tell us a little bit about the International Luxury Alliance and your role as the co-chairperson on that organization?
So about 5 years ago, I went to Coldwell Banker and I said, all these companies say they have an affiliate. We're affiliated with this company in London, this company here, this company there. And Adam, my husband, and I had been traveling all over the world. And we said, there is no true affiliate. We don't really know these people that we're referring to. So I went to Coldwell Banker and I said, this would be great for you and for your agents to put together the top agents in the world and meet twice a year. We'll meet in a fabulous location twice a year. And we can share secrets. We can share listings. We can share what makes us successful.
Right.
Of course, they have to be agents who have been successful, but not necessarily, this is not based on money.
Right.
It's on which agents will share, which agents will be confidential with this information, and integrity.
It's about character.
It's about character.
Yes.
I've had two of my biggest billionaires come from this group, and I've referred many people. We are all over the world now. I just referred one of my friends and clients to someone in Tuscany. Vonda and Laurent in Paris referred to me a great client. I have an affiliate in Turkey who I adore. She's one of the top agents there. So we are really international. We know each other. And we can refer, I have a great London connection. So we can refer to anyone, anywhere, not only in the United States, but in the world.
Worldwide.
People. Yeah. So it's like we're just sending them to someone we've never met. And it's been, Pam Liebman Corcoran is my co-chair. And so We have all the great New York agents. It's just a great sense of referral, but also we connected and we're friends.
Oh, that's lovely. So, that must have been very helpful in this, while we're in this pandemic for the last year and a half, 2 years, because you don't have the freedom to travel and you can't just, drop something and just travel, be somewhere. So has to have been very beneficial for you.
It's been amazing because, you hear about all these people during the pandemic that were buying sight unseen. I had 2 of those, but you don't want to buy sight unseen if you're not that the agent is looking out for you.
Right.
So this has been an amazing way that you can buy sight unseen, although I never like to do that.
No, I was going to ask you if you during this last couple of years, if you've sold anything where the clients weren't able to travel and see and just went ahead and bought it anyway.
2.
2, wow.
We did 2. And those were actually the first 2 that I had ever done in over 30 years.
Uh-huh.
And I have to say, it makes me a little nervous because you can FaceTime.
Right, no, I understand.
You can do all of the things, but you're still not sure that when they get there and they see the proximity to the neighbor or the proximity to the street or what it may be, that they are still going to love that.
Right.
So that's hard.
Yeah. I know. I don't care for clients that say, just do whatever you want. I love direction from a client. I love getting them involved. I love seeing their emotion. And that's sort of what spurs me on.
That's right. That's right. And that does spur you on. It does me too.
It does. Yeah, it encourages us. So can we talk a little bit about Jade Mills, the mother of 4 children? So it always amazes me that, I think women are incredible. They're mothers. They take care of their families, their husbands, and like you have a dynamic career. I just don't know how you do it. So tell us about your 4 children. And I think you have 7 grandchildren, right?
I do. That role is my favorite.
Uh-huh.
I have 4 amazing children and 7 amazing grandchildren. We just were all in Maui for a very, very short time. I mean, by the time we got there, it was time to come home. But that is my time once a year that is totally dedicated to my children and my grandchildren.
Right.
And I say, I just cherish that time. And we're together, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and by the pool and at the beach, and it's my time to really connect with them. I'm a mother that children need me no matter where I am. I'm going to get on the phone and say, this is where I am. I'll be off in 20 minutes. I'm at a showing. I can talk in 20 minutes. But that is my priority, my children and my grandchildren. And Mark, something that happened with one of our ILA members, Jill Hertzberg and Judy Zader in Miami.
Yes.
They're part of our group. My granddaughter was there and had an ear infection. And I called them and I said, I'm going to get on a plane. This is during COVID. I'm going to get on a plane. I mean, she can't get into an emergency room. And they said, it's okay. Don't worry. We've got it covered.
Oh, isn't that great?
This group is amazing. But when it comes to my children or my grandchildren, and sometimes they will say to me, Mom, we want more of your time. I do not
of course
spend either Saturday or Sunday with them because it's very important to me.
Of course
and
it is.
I feel like I can work better and be there for my clients better if I take that time with my family.
Oh, that's nice. So are any of your children following mother's career and getting into real estate?
They all 4 have real estate businesses.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
2 of them work with me very full time. Alexis LaMontagne and she's married to Michael, and they have 3 children. And Tiffany Mills, my oldest daughter, and she has 2 children. They work the most with me. Zach Quitman, my oldest son, has a real estate license and works with me part-time. And Austin Mills, who is my youngest, has a real estate license, and he does work with his friends. He is determined that he's going to get all of his friends a great deal in real estate and do what no one else can for them. So all 4 of them are involved. Tiffany and Alexis work the most with me.
Well, that has to be very satisfying to see that your children really admire you and want to take after mom. That's great.
I love it. But 2 of them are dedicated. Austin has a whole nother career. He wants to be a TV host, so that's a whole nother career.
Well, good for him.
In the clothing business. So real estate is a second occupation for the boys.
Okay. Now, when things finally lift again, where I know you love to travel, so where do you think, if you could take off now, where would you love to visit? What's your passion?
We love the south of France.
Uh-huh.
We love Paris. I love Italy. But, I think we're going to wait a little bit. I mean, now the new Delta virus and what's happening, I feel like we need to be a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Where we've been flying. We went to Deer Valley. We went to we went to New York. But I'm now feeling like we just have to be a little bit more careful. And I can't wait to travel again. But it's that we ever want or need is here. We've talked about past, Mark, because living in Los Angeles, we have the beach 40 minutes away and the mountains an hour and a half, and Palm Springs for the desert. I mean, we've got it all here.
Yeah, Southern California affords an extraordinary lifestyle. We're very fortunate to not just live here, but to work here. It's such an incredible environment, isn't it?
It is. And I think many times I think, oh my gosh, it's summer when it's actually, October. Then our weather is so amazing.
Right.
Yet go just a little bit out of LA and have everything.
Yeah, we do. We have everything. So, Jade, if you were going to give a person who's seeking a career in real estate a word of advice, what would you say to them? Because I know that there's so many people who are watching today, and I'm seeing their comments come across, and they're going, I love her. I want to work with her.
Oh.
So what word of advice would you give to somebody wanting to start out?
Well, first of all, thank you so much, because that would make my mother and father very happy. I mean, I'm all about trying to give back. And so I talk to a lot of people who want advice, but this is so good for me because I can give it all at one time.
Yes.
So I would say there's enough business for everybody in our field. So don't try to step on someone else's toes. Again, do it ethically. It's not a time job. It's a very full job. And be kind. Be kind to other agents. Be kind to people in the business, because we want to be able to work together. We want to be able to call each other and help each other. I always laugh when someone says to me, oh, I can tell you about a listing if you give me a referral fee. And I'm thinking, we're supposed to be working together, not saying, right. I'll tell you with a secret, but you have to pay me for it.
Right.
I never quite understand that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I agree completely. And, I'm always available to give whatever knowledge I have to other people in my profession. And I find that whatever you give out comes back to you in droves.
Tenfold.
So, and I think when you reach the level that you have, it's being gracious and kind and considerate of others is really what makes you a professional.
And you feel good for it.
Yeah, you feel great.
I have this little note on my dash,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, I am blessed. And I can't tell you how many parking attendants and people that get in the car say, oh, I love that. And I really do feel that way. I feel that I'm so blessed. And why wouldn't I give my knowledge? Because I just feel like where I am in my life, my father was a dairy farmer. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, and we didn't have money. I mean, we weren't poor, but we didn't have money.
Right.
And I look back and I think I'm blessed, and why not share that?
That's wonderful. Well, I know that so many people who have watched have really enjoyed listening to you and listening to your views on real estate. And I just want to thank you so much, Jade. I enjoyed this. I enjoy having you as a friend. And thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you, Mark. As I said, I'm honored, and I truly am. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, thank you.
We'll talk. Bye-bye.
Well, everybody, I'm sure you were thrilled listening to Jade. She's such a wonderful human being. And so if you have to remember that these are, I know a lot of people can't tune in when we have the program here. So they're always available on our Instagram channel. They're available as a podcast, I think YouTube, Apple TV. So you can, if you can't see the complete show, you can always listen to it later. So if you find it interesting, and I'm sure you found Jade immensely interesting, you can share it with your friends. We are in the process of finding our next guest and confirming that, and we'll keep you posted who is going to join us in the next couple of weeks, so stay posted. And thank you very much for joining us on Designers at Home. Goodbye, and have a wonderful weekend.